All right, everybody, time to go over my TRT results, the blood test. For the little bit that I was on it, I stopped because I seemingly was having some kind of side effect or something like that. And you can even see my skin right now. I look more of a normal color. And this is me after I was actually just outside doing yoga, actually. So compared to what I was like, and actually, like I said, those videos, those 3 weeks I was on TRT, I actually was setting down the saturation because I was so red. So that was with the saturation set down, and I was still that red. And some people want to see the body, I guess. Well, there's no real change, right? So that was taken yesterday, right? So I was only on it for a little bit. Uh, so I was on it for where's this media source? Okay, there we go. Stop. So I was on it for 2 weeks, and I basically didn't sleep for 2 weeks, and then I got COVID the third week, and I've also been in a very bad cluster headache period, so I haven't been doing good with that. And so then I stopped after 3 weeks, and then I did this blood test that would have been the start of 4 weeks. Does that make sense? So 3 weeks, and then I stopped at 4 weeks, right? Okay. So anyway, these blood tests are going to be a little bit iffy because normally you go to about 6 weeks when you do your first blood test. But I was, like I said, could not sleep. I didn't even start sleeping till the third week, which who knows how much could have been because I started to lower the dose because I'm like, whoa, this is crazy, right? And then I also had COVID, blah blah blah, and yeah, I don't know. So I don't know if I'm allergic to something or what's going on, but I have an appointment with a allergist in sadly about 3 weeks. So I want to get in sooner, but they're just booked. But I want to see if I'm getting like allergic to like the carrier oil or something like that because I was not only was my body aesthetically red without tanning, anything like that, without being in the sun. Like, look at that one Street Fighter video. I look like a tomato. I was even setting the saturation down. I also felt like my body was burning. It was like uncomfortable. But I did get boners. I did start getting boners very quickly. So, anyway, from that long forward, I wanted to show this. And if some of these look a little bit weird because this is just to compare, different hospitals use different laboratory ranges, which is retarded, but it is what it is, you know. And these last tests were done at the hospital that the doctor that prescribes the testosterone does. So that's why this happens. I would love to all do it at one hospital, but U of M is a fucking bastard to me after they fucked me up. So anyway, the total T, what this might be interesting to you. So I was at 684. So this is actually less though what I've been able to achieve with Tonkat Ali. When I was just taking a buttload of Tonkat Ali, I actually had higher testosterone, total testosterone at least, right? Now, of course, I think this, April, March, a little bit. Some of that winter, I did have a little bit of time where I was able to sleep. But I mean, this just goes to show you if you don't have like a sex hormone binding goblin problem, maybe really check into the Tonkat Ali, lots of Tonkat Ali and Born, because look at that. I've been able to get to the 800s. So on CRT, I actually was lower, right? Now I am on a very low dose when I took it, right? A very low dose, lower dose than most people take, but trying to ease myself into it, it was like shocking my body or something. But here's something that probably will be very interesting to you though. Look at this. Look at my free T. 6, 8. These are like the levels of like a 90-year-old man, right? Look at that though. 17. More than doubled it. And this is like, some doctors, U of M, and of course U of M acts like this after they gave me all that radiation and they permanently fucked me up, you fucking assholes, right? But I've been able to get to normal T levels, even you would say towards the higher range. But isn't that crazy that even with a lesser total, look at my free testosterone, more than doubled. Now, and again, this is 17, and the range is right here. I think they gave me I don't know what that range is right there, 4 to 9. I said I don't know why hospitals randomly give you different ranges sometimes. Like I said one time before, St. Joe's put me as a girl and they gave me all the girl ranges. So maybe that's what this test was. Maybe that's what this test. I'm like, what are you doing? You gave the wrong range, you fucking idiot. But this is the medical care system in America, what are you going to do? But again, I do think this is pointful because, like I said, 17, that's higher than I've ever been able to get, right? That potentially is the highest in my life. I mean, I don't know. I can't find any blood tests of me being checked when I was actually like before radiation and as a kid. But anyway, that's still, apparently from what I understand, you want to be in the ranges of 20 to 30 though, right? Because you want to be, and then I guess if you're doing sports TRT, you want to be, the higher range, but 20 to 30 is like an actual good healthy range. So I would assume though, this is why, although I was not horny, I had one day of horniness, right? That I was actually, I'm like getting erections again, right? More than doubled. And actually, I should say, so this was done in a trough too, right? But I was only taking a small dose and I was taking two doses, right? Split between two. So again, from what I understand and looking at different graphs and charts like this, my peak could have been another 100 or 200 higher. So I actually technically I could have been like this after the shot. But when I was like looking online and ranges like the trough, a lot of those like are after the ranges that they're higher when you take testosterone, sipping it, which was what I was taking. Um, the graphs and ranges show if you take one big shot for the week. And when you look at those ranges, sometimes those people are a couple 100 points higher right when they get the shot. So maybe because I was splitting my dose in between two, who knows? Maybe I only would have been 100 higher. I don't know. A little bit bro science right there, but there you go. And then the free testosterone, like I said, maybe I could have been another 5 points higher. So I could have been like a 22 or something like that. Who knows, right? Right after the shot. But when I look at that, I do think obviously I probably could have been giving myself a higher dose had I not been having some kind of like strange side effects, right? Like it was hitting me hard, like I said. Um, so definitely though, and look at the sex hormone binding goblin, an example, right? 43. Still terrible, but not a 90-year-old man. Kind of just like a 60-year-old man. So, again, I've never had it that low, or I should say I have seen my sex hormone gotten a little bit lower before, right? But this is like many, many, many years ago now, right? Like my sex hormone binding continues just to be a problem. So now I'm at like a 60-year-old man, something like that. So again, I assume this is why, although I was not horny besides one day, I was like, whoa, my penis feels pretty strong. I don't feel horny, but if I had to go, I was like, my dick, it's ready to go. It's full. Like it's ready to go. So again, this is one of the problems because I have the high sex hormone binding goblin and the low free testosterone. Those are people that tend to do better with doing less shots and bigger doses. But just this, like I said, the last week I only took 70. So maybe it stands to reason that I'm still that high of a sex hormone binding goblin and I need to actually do a bigger dose. But it is what it is. These tests are kind of, I did them early because I had to stop because my body is not reacting well to something. I don't know what it is, but anyway. Now, something else that's probably interesting to you is the hematocrit. And hematocrit is something that can actually make you red, right? And it's something that, generally speaking, if people take TRT, regular TRT, from what I understand, it's not a problem. But when you see people actually doing like steroid sort of doses or like sports TRT, they got to be careful. But I can say for me, look at me, I was a 45, and I look at all the other ranges. I'm normally in the low 40s to mid 40s anyway. So there was no change. And what this also tells me as well, looking at it, you got to remember, is that I was very red. Okay, so it was not my hematocrit making me red, right? Which is another sign to me that something else was going on in my body, right? Because it definitely wasn't the hematocrit. And this is also important to me because one of the things I go to the cancer doctor for is APS. So I am actually prone to there being a problem with this. And from just the low dose I was taking, we can see there was not a problem. Now, this is something that did scare me that makes me even think again, maybe I was having an allergic reaction. And I was going back through, you can go back through like 10 years, right? I should try to I wonder what my CRP was when I was dying. I would have to go through actually like the paperwork though to find that because a a lot of these blood tests only go back like 10 years, but I was going back lots of years, and look at that. We're normally at zero point 0.2. I went through other hospitals, 0.2, but then I was at 1.8. So from what I understand, if you're anything over a 1 on TRT, it indicates you're probably allergic to the carrier oil. So that's what I'm thinking maybe was happening, because my body was burning. The doctor also is not sure. I guess she said it could have been because I had COVID the week before, but that was a week before, so wouldn't that be getting better after a week? I don't know. You can certainly see my body. You can certainly see the symptoms. I couldn't like I said, the first 2 weeks, I couldn't even fucking sleep. Like, it was not good. Like, I was, although at the end of the first week, like I said, I was already getting boners again. And, I was deceptively alert and deceptive clarity, considering I had not slept. But once I got to like 2 weeks of not sleeping, I was like, okay, this is really affecting me. I actually feel worse now, so that was hitting me, This is also somewhat concerning, the DHEA. I've been prone to having low DHEA before, and man, it didn't. Now it's low. That is something that can happen on TRT. It can lower your DHEA a little bit, and it didn't take long. It took 3 weeks, and it was already on the cusp anyway. So that is concerning as well. Again, DHEA is something that's not normally a problem for guys until you get much older. And it's mostly, normally you think about it something like a problem for females once they go through menopause. But this is the body I have, unfortunately. All this radiation, dying, just destroyed my body. So I don't know what to do about this. That is concerning, though, that it had already gotten that low on TRT. Just a few weeks then. So another thing that was actually, I was glad to see, my DHT was actually a point lower. And DHT is what makes you lose your hair. So that is one of the reasons that I was afraid, oh man, I hope I don't go on TRT and I start to lose my hair or something like that. And like I said, I actually have been shedding now that I started the TRT, although I stopped, right? But I started shedding just like a couple weeks in already. So again, that makes me think then again more so maybe it sets something off. I'm having an allergic reaction because my DHT is actually low. It's actually a point lower. Right. So I don't know how much DHT raises once you give yourself a shot, but I would assume it's nothing astronomical considering it's low. So probably not why I'm shedding hair. I don't know. Maybe it's just maybe I'm just in a seasonal shed. Maybe it's just the luck of the draw. I don't know, but we can see it that the DHT is not a problem. So that was actually reassuring. Now, something that is scary as well is that makes no sense is my estrogen. So I don't know why the fuck they do like this. And like I said, this is one of the problems, unfortunately. Like, look at this. I'm looking at the ranges for the last test, and it's like see comment, and there's nothing listed. So my estrogen actually went down. And if you look at this, so I just showed some other examples before this. So I am actually prone, and I don't know why it doesn't give the normal range right there. Like I said, it's so fucking weird. Like some hospitals, they just didn't put the normal range. It's just, I guess, because it's not normal for a guy to get his estrogen checked. But, like I said, after I did all this radiation, it set off a bomb in my body, and my body just does not work properly, dude, right? Dying, all this kind of stuff. My body just doesn't work properly, dude. So anyway, the point is, though, generally speaking, you're not supposed to be over 40. And so you can see I've at the cusp and even over 40. But then when I took TRT, it went down. Now, I'm going to be honest, I have never seen anything about this, reading about this. So I'm confused if any other bros watch this. They have a thing about this. This makes no sense. I asked the doctor. The doctor seemingly is unsure. She's just like, maybe it's just your body's trying to reset its hormones or whatever the fuck she said. I don't know. But this makes no sense to me because if anything, TRT, most people, and I was given a prescription for Arimidex in case it happens, TRT tends to make your estrogen even worse and get even higher. My estrogen got even lower. I have never read about that happening. I have not taken a Arimidex or anything like that. So I guess that just goes to show you my body is fucked and weird. It just does not work properly anymore. So anyway, that's what we're working with. After 3 weeks of TRT, I stopped going into the 4th week because, again, something is going on with my body. I'm just absurdly red. My body is burning. I actually, like I said, the first week I was like, whoa, I have a deceptive amount of energy considering I have not slept and how sick I've been. But by the 2nd week, I was like, okay, I'm feeling worse on TRT right now. Like, this is not good. Then the 3rd week, I got COVID, was in the hospital. So again, very strange. But if you're curious, when I look at this, and of course, only 3 weeks in, some of my body is still producing testosterone. Of course, it's normally once you start getting over a month, and then into 6 weeks, your body is just at like the minimal level of producing anything, right? Excuse me, generally speaking, from what I understand, right? So obviously, I still have some of my own testosterone, but obviously, I was on a very low dose. So I think when you look at this, you could be like, Clayton, you could have been taking quite a bit more, and you had definitely had room to play around with, and this still needs to get lower because this is still anything. Even once you get in the 30s, you start having side effects. So I've had levels. I think the highest level I had was like 69 or something like that, and you're talking about 69, that's basically like the level of like a female, right? So it's not good. It's a problem, and it's something I've never been able to fix. And unfortunately, doctors don't like talking about it because why would you have high sex hormone binding, Goblin? Well, if you had something happen to your thyroid, oh shit, U of M radioactive nuclear bombed my fucking thyroid. And then they say coincidentally gained all these autoimmune disease after. Oh yeah, big coincidence, I'm sure, right? What's another reason you could have high sex hormone binding, Goblin? Well, if you have a liver problem, oh shit, when I was dying, my liver was going on me, going out on me. So it's kind of like, yeah, maybe there's some kind of leftover dysfunction, but if you're curious, that's where I'm at. Well, of course, now I stopped and I'm taking back the town Cali and everything, but anyway. So there you go. If you're curious about it, a big asterisk mark on all of this because of everything that's going on. Some concerning things like the DHEA, some reassuring things like the DHT, concerning things like the estrogen. I don't even know what that means. It's confusing to me. Reassuring for the Hematocrit. Definitely room to play around with this if I ever start again. So anyway, if you like the videos, like, subscribe, comment, share. Support the channel if you want. Appreciate it. Thanks. The end.